Today it is July 20th, about 7 o'clock in the morning, sometime around that time frame. We're at the Springfield Airport. So this is where Brian Fisher will be flying out of. He's done all of our aerial work for many, many years and has done a great job. He is my secret weapon. With our sprayer, we got the beans to do R3. We're gonna get that started here soon, but looks like Brian Fisher's pulling in right now.
I've got a gut feeling this is going to be a good year. The farmer is the eternal optimist.
We farm together as a family. If we all put our heads together, I don't know what we couldn't achieve.
Hopefully we hit 90 bushel. I think we could do it. Just have healthy plants and a good return on investment.
One of the worst things about farming is making a decision on planting depth. A quarter of an inch on your depth, sometimes you won't get a stand.
As you can see, my pinky ring's empty, so obviously I didn't win. With this class of guys that's in Podfathers, I mean, anyone could win. We're here in Cedarville, Ohio. We have a special guest joining us today. All right, I think that's him. Hey, Andy.
How are you?
Good, you?
Good, fine.
What brings you down this way today?
Oh, just thought I'd stop around and see what's going on, see how things look.
Good, I'm glad to have you down here. I guess we'll go look at some crops.
Okay, let's do that.
All right.
Had a little practice, been doing it for a few years. 49 years. July 18th, 1972 is when I lost my arms.
2 days ago.
Yep. Reached into a grain auger for a sample of wheat and went on in when I was 2.5 years old. And that's how I lost my arms. They brought a dinner plate into me when I was in the hospital, and that's when I started using my foot to eat. They said it was just like I was supposed to do it that way. Never remember having hands or anything like that. People need to see a good attitude.
So full of negativity everywhere you look.
It really is. The field.
Yep. Yep, and then we're gonna take it on down here. I'll try not to get your truck too muddy, I apologize.
Ain't gonna hurt me any. Ain't gonna hurt this old truck any. As you can see my steering wheel though, I'm pretty hard on leather strapped steering wheels. Especially when my foot's dirty. Get it on there and with the weight of my leg and grinding it into it and everything.
So I'm trying something different, try to run with these boys that can go 150 bushel beans.
Mm-hmm.
So we did a double diamond. Planted it twice, but in a diamond in an X shape.
Okay.
And they're looking really good, so. All right, are you guys ready to go out?
Yeah, let's go.
I planned on spraying them a lot more. Like I said, my whole thing is I want it practical. So I don't want to just do it on 10 acres. I want to be able to do it on 1,000 acres.
Mm-hmm. Now, was this tilled?
Yes.
Do you
Yep.
till everything?
No, we do have some no-till. So this is actually, I had intercropping here last year. So some of it's beans on beans, some of it's beans after corn.
Okay.
There is such a difference in these plants. Like, I can tell right now, this is where the corn was last year. See the height's different?
Yeah.
But you can kind of see the concept of the diamond of what I'm trying to accomplish here. Trying to get them to cross hatch each other. You know, you can definitely tell by the soil type we're still on that hill that I talked about. So by no means the best, but I mean, I'm really happy with that. We're just trying to get them all to get as many branches as we can. And we are at R3. So as soon as it dries up, we'll be out here with the sprayer. We're gonna feed them one more time, foliar, fungicide, insecticide. But other than the insect pressure hasn't been that bad this year. I don't know about you guys around home.
It hasn't been yet. Now, where you put insecticide?
We've seen some bean leaf beetle early, but you know, they really haven't made a mess of much yet. So I'm pretty happy with everything so far. A lot of flowering going on, a lot of new flowering going on. And it's kind of hard to tell how many pods per node we're gonna have. But I've already got, you know, 5 pod sets with more flowers coming. So if we can average around 7 pods per node, it will be a pretty good year. Plenty of nitrogen left. Nodulation on it is excellent.
What's the difference in that and what over here where your beans was?
Well, nothing.
There isn't much difference?
It just goes to show though how much nitrogen we had left over from the corn compared to the beans. Beans after beans, the hardest part is getting this part right here, the nodulation to the roots.
Okay.
Because once, you know, the beans require so much nitrogen to constantly use it, you know, they're gonna produce it on their own. They didn't have much to go off of to scavenge from last year. So a lot of people talk about the carbon penalty with corn after corn. Nobody really talks about it with beans after beans. I can raise corn after corn a heck of a lot easier than you can raise beans after beans and have a real strong yield. Now, if you're going after, you know, 60 bushel beans, very doable. But that 80 to 120 bushel range, it's attention to detail, and you have to have so many different things go right on your bean side. I cannot, what I should have done is helped them with some nitrogen. I still can. We're at that point. R4 is when I want to try to start playing with that. But they need to pick me up. But on the corn side, we're good. You just kind of, sulfur is the biggest thing that we're looking at right now with these beans, because we have the nitrogen mass here for them. So we just want to keep it efficient with the amount of nitrogen. So it's kind of a tale of two fields all in one field.
Okay.
But that's because we did the intercropping last year. We didn't get to do it this year because of INF.
Copperhead concaves, to me, are the only way to go. This is a real return on our investment. And when we went to these, we took an automatic increase all the way to 5,300 bushels an hour, which is incredible. Sometimes we don't have enough truck to keep up with what this combine can harvest. Used less horsepower, less fuel, and did a better job cleaning. It's second to none.
I'm very fortunate that I've been working with Concept Agritech now for 4 years. We have 12 Concept Agritech plots out right now. We feel like we're picking up some pretty good bushels.
Oh, here's one of their flagship products here. This is their Cowboy product. It's their calcium boron premix. They do have a great line of products here. Man, this is like drinking water. I think every crop needs a gallon or 2 of it. It's just, it does that much for you.
What'd it say?
Miles.
McGee Shop.
2013.
2013 is when these bins were built. That is, that's your hand printer, Abby's.
That is Abby's?
Before we get too far into this thing, I want to give a shout out to my buddy Corey Atley with the Corn Warriors logo on the front. I'm scared of Corey now. I'll be honest with you. I think we poked a bear last year, and he's got the right weather this year. I like being in the middle. There's no pressure in the middle, but I could be kind of pushed to the end with the weather we've had this year. Maybe we'll all tie, who knows? Y'all ready to roll? So we're going to the Blue House. It's about a 250-acre field.
It's a big old bean field.
Big old bean field.
Looks like some Corey would farm. All right, guys, let's go. We're going for a surprise.
It is to the right,
Where?
down low. See that leaf that's got the burn on it right there?
That's 4.
That's 4. It's on this plant. Well, it was there the other day.
Well, we're gonna find it.
So we've looked for 5-bean pods for, what, Rob, 10 years?
Come here.
Never been able to find one, so I put a bounty on them. I did this probably three years ago. Anybody found a 5-bean pod is worth $100. Well, this year we found 6 in 1 week. There he is. Now, how they found that one, as low as it is, I have no idea.
They was looking for a bounty, man.
That, fellers, is a 5-bean pod. Now, the problem with these beans, with the weather we've had, and I'll try to find another one I was showing Rob, we've got a lot of 4-bean pods that didn't fill completely out. Example of one is a 3-bean pod, but that was a 3-bean pod that's turned into a 2-bean pod. But I found one a while ago that was a 4-bean pod that's turned into a 2-bean pod. But man, we have got to figure out a way as farmers not to blame everything on the weather.
Farm past them.
So there's...
Can't farm past God, though.
No, you're not gonna farm past God by no means, but they're, you know, maybe he gives us enough sense to figure out a way to manage what he gives us. As many of y'all know, Rob has MS. You know, he went through some pretty good pain, was numb basically from the waist down. I went in the hospital for a weekend, and you know, it seems like we've had a lot of bad things happen, you know. A lot of good things happen too, but
Hopefully they're gonna be able to fix pretty bad and turn it into
at least tolerable.
doable, yeah.
Anyway, he goes back next week, so Lane and I will have to decide on irrigation termination ourselves.
We're gonna have to water them one more time.
So we'll start arguing next week, because I'm probably not going to want to water one more time, and he probably is on these beans that we're going to look at. But anyway, we're going to go down now to our oldest beans. Just wanted to show y'all this little jewel here, and probably look for a few insects. I want to show you kind of what we deal with when the beans start going down and lodging. Here in the South, I mean, we're eat up with insects. Seems to be a little worse this year than past years. We swept this field actually Tuesday, from all the way down there to tree line to all the way around there at the corn. We stopped 9 times and did a sweep. They did the same thing on the back, and then we do the, you know, we count them all up and figure what it is average. And when I say sweep, Rob, you can explain that a little better than I can, but.
Yeah, so all of our thresholds are based off of 25 sweep samples. And so we just basically 25 sweeps, we call it a set. Yeah, so we'll look at them, and it's a good learning opportunity to help Lane and Matt gain more confidence while they help me out. Let's do a little looking and see what we get.
Look at the nymphs. Yeah.
Thanks, man.
9.
You flick them on me every time.
Two.
3.
This is something we have to deal with, and Perry has to deal with too, that a lot of these other guys don't.
So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go and we're gonna look a little more and see what kind of average we can get on this. And we're fixing to clean these dudes up. Time for them to die.
I got 44 and 1 worm. We need to do something pretty bad here.
Yes, sir.
This has got to be addressed.
Yep.
That's a little nerve-wracking.
We
We want the bottom canopy to be healthy with a good fungicide. We use Revitec on it. It's really going to help that bean finish off strong.
But on our farm, we got to average a 6 bushel better with the Revitec fungicide than any other fungicide.
Probably absent of disease just because we've got the Revitec out here, but just mainly for the plant health.
The one thing that is a must, that's this product right here. Reducing stress adds bushels.
With the soybeans with Terramax, we brought it out and instantly, man, I just couldn't believe the nodulation we had so early. Look at that. That root, look how much nodulation is already on there. And you have these little peanuts all the way down here that deep in the soil, around the roots here. That's a very good start. If you haven't heard of them, you better get to know them because their products are here to play.
He said that this is like the typical Ohio field. This is probably better than the typical Ohio field. Once you get north of Logan County, in certain places where I'm from, it's pretty rough in certain areas.
You're right, I should refrain. Typical for this area.
For this area.
Dirt. You know, you get north of here, it's a whole different ball game. You get a lot north. That's where all the clay tiles made, and there's a reason why.
Exactly.
And our ground's so tight. You know, you get south of here, you know, get more of that sand, gravel. You know, CCs are a lot lower. A lot of rolling terrain. You know, we're flat. You know, I'm not gonna lie. We don't have too many hills. We're pretty flat.
Either.
Yeah.
When I say we have a hill or a rock, people laugh. You know, because that's not a hill.
Hey, you kind of got to be careful what you say sometimes.
A lot of comments come in. That isn't a rock. Okay.
And right now, we're at that fool's gold stage to where you got pod sets coming, you got flowers coming that you hope turn into pods. That's why the rain that we got last week, 4 inches of rain, was such a blessing, because, you know, there's nothing that's really gonna tell this plant, hey, I'm in trouble. So we have nice temperatures going for the beans. It's just gonna keep going. So right now it's just my job not to screw it up. Which I'd rather have that than trying to fight Mother Nature. That's a lot easier problem. One of our biggest problems that we've always fought with is holding the branches together. So that's something that we're trying to fix this year. You know, we can load down the beans. Problem is, you know, all these branches here, they get loaded down with pods. You come to harvest time and they're broke off. And then you know, you're just left with a bean that looks like that, and you go, wait a minute, I was just out here a month ago and that bean did not look like that. Why am I harvesting that? And you look on the ground and you just see all these stems laying on the ground with pods on them. So if we can keep from that happening, I mean, I think that alone will be a huge yield bump. Just trying to actually harvest the entire plant instead of losing the branches. So leaf size is another big thing that we're looking at this time. You know, these are pure harvesters of sunlight. So, you know, my goal is to have leaves, you know, the size of my hand out here, to be able to capture as much sunlight as possible. So normally what I use to, you know, I want to burn them back. So normally on a normal year, I'd burn these beans back to get more branching. That's what I'm trying to induce. This year though, we went cold and wet early. Mother Nature kind of did that for me. So I was kind of at a crossroads. Do I continue burning, or do I just let Mother Nature take care of setting these beans back? Because I don't want to stress it too much. You know, there's a borderline there. Are they going to recover or are they not? So to be honest with you, I just kind of let Mother Nature this year take over and let her do her thing. She was burning them back with the frosts that we had, the cold weather that we had. You know, the wet weather, the roots just couldn't, you know, they weren't relaxing, so it was stressing out the beans. And then another thing, with the diamond and the sunlight, it has made a huge difference. I mean, I can take you, you know, just on right up here, which is just 20-inch rows regularly, about half the branching, about half the flower sets. So it goes to show how critical the sunlight piece of this is to the soybean. So I came out here, so the rows are planted, so that way, starting at 11 a.m., all the way at about 6 to 7 p.m., the beans are always facing the sun. So this field's kind of playing in a sundial. So that way, no matter where the sun is located, the beans can capture the most sunlight. Because, you know, in Ohio, we don't know if we're gonna have a week of cloudy weather or a week of Florida weather. You know, it can change. So if we're only getting a few hours of sunlight a day, I want to be able to capitalize on that. So backspin, you know, that's a sulfurous and then potassium. So what we're trying to do that is get a big load of sulfur to try to burn the leaves and the beans back with that, but also feed it some more K throughout the year.
Okay.
So hard thing is though with that product, it's got a lot of liquid carbon in it. Liquid carbon's more of a safener to, a lot of these products are made to not burn people's bean fields, so you don't get that phone call, hey man, I just applied your product and you burnt my field. Well, kind of a different thinking here. We want to burn them. Okay. we kind of want to stress them. After you see it burn, you'll see the flowering. So try not to pay attention. You've got to have enough green matter for photosynthesis, but you also got to stress to be enough to go, uh-oh, better send another shot up from the roots. So it's kind of a real wild card, you know, of trying to keep an even balance. You know, that's where, you know, products like a PGR come into play. You know, I need its job to run up and down and send more nutrients from the roots back up through and message back and forth. So a lot of people think of a PGR as like stunning the bean or slowing it down. It's technically not for that. It's more of a flush of nutrients moving up and down that plant is what I'm looking at it for. So we're gonna burn the leaf, but hang on guy, we're gonna help you out. It gets hard for us because like I said, we're only making three passes. So I have 3 times to get all that stuff done. When to affect it, you know, that's where timing becomes so critical. The load that we're running, you know, we have to make sure that all these chemicals and products that we're putting in are compatible, they can play well, they're not gonna hurt each other. So it's a constant learning game of just knowing how far we can push the envelope per load. So, you know, my goal with this bean field, I'm hoping for around 120 bushel beans. And, you know, if we can do it within three or 4 passes, I'll be tickled.
Yeah, that's great. When were these planted?
April 15th. And this is one of the first fields that we planted. So this, I took a picture, posted on Facebook, and this had 5 inches of snow right on top of it.
Did you have to spot any back end?
No, nope, never been in to touch it.
Survived through everything.
So it survived through everything. And then after it emerged, had 2 weeks of really cold weather, frost and freezes. You know, beans are adaptive, so if they don't get used to warm weather, it won't kill them. Well, luckily, I guess, the beans never knew warm weather. Once these were in the ground, it stayed cold. So they just figured, hey, this is just life.
This is the way it is.
This is the way it is. So I'm happy with it.
I was gonna say, they look great.
Yeah, I'm very happy. I don't know if I could change a thing. You know, I had plans to be in here more because I finally said, you know, screw it. I'm gonna just come in here and make a bunch of passes and see what we can do. Just see what number we can do. Mother Nature didn't allow that for me because we kept getting rain. So why go in and treat it when you're getting sunlight and rain? I mean, I don't have a product in a lineup anywhere that can do that. So you let Mother Nature do her thing and let it go. I'm enjoying a stress-free year so far from Mother Nature. Gonna try to enjoy it.
So is this your cornfield over here on the other side of my truck?
Yeah, that's one of our cornfields here. That's part of my playground. So we got a plot there. More than welcome. Walk in there and take a look at it.
Go check it out.
All right. If you want to watch more and learn more about Andy, go to his YouTube site, The Harmless Farmer. It's been a pretty smooth harvest, so knock on wood that we can keep everything rolling here. One of the bigger reasons this harvest has gone so much smoother is, you know, we got 2 Fendt T9s over there. They've just been pumping the grain. And we're actually producing more bushels than what we have in the past. You know, they don't lack for power, that's for sure. I've been very pleased with everything.
Improve germination in your fields with the Germinator closing wheel from Farm Shop MFG. Our spike design with inner rim shoulder firmer seals your seed with a firm vein of soil, providing maximum seed-to-soil contact. In low moisture conditions, this vein of firmness has the added benefit of wicking moisture up from the ground, creating the ideal environment for maximum germination. For more info and to order a set of Germinator closing wheels for your planter, visit farmshopmfg.com.
Hello.
Hey,
Hey.
I'm not at all trying to tell you what to do.
Yeah.
I don't know who looks at y'all's beans, but Tuesday we swept these by yours.
Yeah.
And we got 4 or 5 stink bugs, and we just went out there a while ago. The Podfather film crew's here and was kind of showing them what we do, and I got 42 in one sweep.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I was just gonna let you know.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
All right, bye.
Quick survey from what we had the other day to what we've got right now. We got a hatch out of the green stink bugs that has occurred. We've looked at these enough now that we're fixing to spray them. I guess the applicator's got to eat too, and but we're gonna clean them up. It's about to have death and destruction out here by the sun up.
All right. So what are you thinking now? Let's run down there and look at this 5-bean pod. Let's go find something good.
Yeah, let's go find something positive out here. You would think it would stick out like a sore thumb.
So another 5-beaner. Anyway, I told Dan, Melissa, if someday I get to 150 bushels, that I will consider a soybean tattoo.
Consider?
Consider, well, I guess you're right. I might as well. I said I would get a soybean tattoo like Dan's corn tattoo if I made 150 bushel beans, which is not a big feat for some people. Like if you're from Maryland or anywhere up north besides me and Perry. I love to use that as an excuse, but it is a good excuse.
How many you got?
15.
That's 131 3-bean pods.
131 3-bean. I got 22 beans.
These are an Agrigold 4620. They are a Roundup Ready Extend bean. They're a little later, a little younger than the beans we were in, where we found a lot of stink bugs and problems. I don't think we'll see the stink bugs quite as bad here. These beans are about 2 weeks younger, so it'll be interesting to see what we get here. This is a new variety for us, and it looks good so far.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got 9 worms.
I'll be.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Did you?
I told you what I tell you. If I found one, what's going to happen? Remember that day I said, if I find a 5-bean,
You said you're going to be cured, yeah.
I got it.
That's 3 today?
So
3 today.
these guys at Agrigold have really got something going on in their breeding program. I think they should be really proud of the products that they're putting on the market.
He said there's 15,000 people in the U.S. that's got the disease that I've got. He said the last thing I'm gonna do is find a 5-bean pod, and if I do, I'm gonna be healed. And I'll be dang if he don't come out here today and do that. I'm gonna have to give you, that's almost emotional.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I gotta take him home with me.
Yeah, take him home. They may not get the gold ring, but they're gonna be good yielding beans, and that's what we're after. You know, winning the ring's pretty cool. But if we can grow a good, solid, high-yielding bean and do it with a positive ROI and help anybody do the same thing, that's the name of the game. Revitec's been a game changer for us in high-yield soybeans. You know, maintain consistency, and that's what's big to us is the consistency.
I think it's important people to realize too that When we talk about the amount of fertility that it takes to produce these beans, that, you know, you hear it all the time, every time you talk to people, it's, well, I can't afford to do that. You know, and I tell people, you can't afford not to do that. Fat man doesn't get fat by not eating. Beans don't grow a lot of bushels without eating. Bushels are bushels. If you put enough food out there to get 100 bushels, if everything goes right, you'll get your 100 bushels. Give them hamburgers and French fries, and you take care of that, and they'll take care of you.
In the corner, that's 20 acres of this field that went underwater. That's replant. Those were just planted the 1st of July, so we'll have some serious worm damage in those probably, or not worm damage, but worm numbers that we're really gonna have to watch this year. That, you know, with that rain we got last time y'all was here, I think there was 100,000 acres affected in our county. But there's a lot of friends and family, you know, that lost 500, 700, 800 acres of crop. And, you know, that we finally got a year where we got good prices and able to, you know, to show a real positive outlook on farming. And then, you know, it came in a 48-hour period, you know, it destroyed massive amount of acres. You know, there's a lot of guys gonna struggle this year. We lost a lot. We didn't lose near as much as some of our friends. And I just wanna, you know, and I do this, try to do this every morning, try to pray for the farmers. If any year they needed it, this was a year. All these insects that were here in another 3 weeks are gonna be gone, and there ain't got but one place to go. Corn's drying down, beans are starting to mature, so these insects have gotta have somewhere to go, and they're gonna go to that young crop that was planted, you know, as a salvage mechanism for what we faced last month in June when y'all were here last. So we're gonna go now back to the drawing board after the insects we found today that we didn't find 2 days ago, and try to figure out the best thing to do. We're starting to get some foliage worms eating. You see the places in the leaves where they're eating. It's a different world down here. So everybody's got their own problems and their own solutions, and one of our problems is insects. We had a plan. You know, this field is gonna be treated tomorrow, and we'll probably stick with that plan, but as y'all seen earlier in some of the other beans, we've got some beans that we've already treated that the little bugs are coming back with a vengeance, so we're gonna try to knock them out too. We got a long way to go, and which this one's got a few more 2-bean pods and some of what I've been looking at, but there's some 4s there too. So hopefully when y'all come back, you know, we'll have something to show you.
They're belly button high or close to it. They'll put on maybe a couple more nodes. If we can hold 4, that's good. If we can hold 5, that's even better. And of course, if we hold 6 on every node, that's huge.
So what we really need to do is burn them hard now, get them washed off, and then protect all these blossoms. Because every one of these, you don't want to abort any of them.
Oh, wow, look at that. That's head to toe.
Like every root. They look pretty good.
You gotta know what road to take. Roads.
Road. Exactly.
Again, this is a non-irrigated portion of the field, and we went through 3 weeks of no rain. I really don't know what effect that has on nodules. Probably not good.